And I speak really fast, sorry.
So how is it that the paid lobbyists get to know when things are going to be there and you guys don't?
I don't know. I mean, it's you know, but we've gotten smart now. We're starting to get to know lobbyists that care about our things, and they'll watch stuff for us. But it is frustrating. I mean, we will be sitting there for 6 hours.
You hear about bills getting stuck in committees so often. Do you have any advice about how to get them unstuck?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and that happened to us with House Bill 77. It was the first bill we went after, and it was to close the gun show loophole. And we had gotten bipartisan support in the House, and it got stuck in the Senate committee because the NRA, once again, came in and wanted to do some bogus change. We literally had a rally outside, and we brought the press, and we, in front of the committee hearing member, had said, you need to hear this bill. But we had to go to that point. But also, I think talking to the staffers and really bugging the heck out of them, it helps. I mean, bug them nicely, but yeah, stuff does get stuck. And you know, that's where the caucus is. They sit there and decide what's gonna get stuck, when it's gonna get stuck. And sometimes it's out of our hands.
Thank you.
Miranda, talk a little bit about the electoral process and where you do get involved and where you don't get involved. It's not as if the legislature is a blank slate and whoever gets elected, you try to work with them. You do have people who are in the state and running for office who are probably more likely to be sensitive to your issue, and some folks who are less likely. You're a 501c3, so you have to watch your political activities. But do you try to get ahead of the curve of elections so you aren't dealing with a legislature that is where the deck is stacked against you?
Yeah, I mean, we do. I mean, because we are a 501c3, we can't endorse anyone, but we do, we make sure that we, Democrat or Republican, that we, that they hear us. And to be honest, when we first started, we had a lot of doors slammed in our face, a lot of doors. But now we actually have finally gained a lot of respect, even from people who, representatives who are against what we do. They do respect us. So we try to work with everyone. I mean, we have to. Does that answer your question?
A couple things. One, there was an ethics commission bill last year, which didn't.
Heather's a good friend of mine.
So you were talking about getting your door slammed in your face, et cetera, et cetera. Did you do any work on trying to get and I don't know the ins and outs of that commission bill, but it seems like that would be a place to look at or to push. It's not your issue, but it's an issue related to your issue, so that if we had a real good ethics commission, these things could be brought before them and some of these things might be changed.
Yes, that's true. We will be working on that.
So you have to work on that?
And no, we will be. We're working with Common Cause, and Heather's working a lot on ethics. And I will say that disclosure thing, you'll have to be there. It's on December 13th. That has nothing to do with it. I just remember I said Heather, but that's really important that we are there to make sure our city councilors know, because that's our plan.
I'm just wondering, I don't think that you said this, but what is the main crux that was what was the opposition's argument? Not wanting to
pass it. So the governor vetoed it with a message that said, for one thing, she said judges can already do this. The problem is judges aren't. In fact, we have a victim right now who's willing to testify that sadly found out after. She was abused by her horrible husband for years. It's basically green card fraud. And he would point a gun to her head, say, you divorce me, I'm going to shoot you and our 2 kids. The second kid was it's horrible, she was raped by him. And the judge knew this man had 5 firearms and did not ask for the guns to be removed. We know the judges aren't doing this. The governor's response was, the judges can already do this, and this is a very difficult decision for everybody involved.
I'd like to add, just to help you out, I was looking at going through the legislative process, I have gotten things passed through our legislation. And one of the things is that you really need to do is get the speaker and them on board, because how they kill a bill while they're shaking their hand and being nice to you is that they assign it to a bunch of committees, knowing that the time that it takes to get through, and that at any point it could be killed.
Which is why we had Brian Egoff's office at every shareholders meeting. In fact, we were running out of time, and I went up to him and I said, can we do one committee hearing? And he said, definitely. So yeah, you have to work, Peter and Brian were very good on helping us make sure that we got that bill through at a speedy process. But it's true, if you don't have them on board, you don't have anybody on board.
Miranda, hi. How closely are you working with the press? And do you have a really close ally with the different newspapers? Because they should be covering all of this. The public needs to know when they are voting against a bill. I mean, this is crucial to us.
They were amazing. We've got the Santa Fe Mexican is fantastic, and they've always been 100% behind us and print everything. We send them press releases, and whenever we get moved forward on a bill, if we get through a committee, we immediately send out a press release. So the Albuquerque Journal and the New Mexican were good at covering it. So yeah, they're friendly with us.
Yeah. So do you have any advice for breaking out of the Santa Fe bubble, I guess? Let's say.
Yes, I do.
I see some parallels between your issue and our issue in that it doesn't resonate the same way in small rural communities like Las Vegas or Espanola or places like that.
So, in fact, the majority of the work we're doing right now isn't in Santa Fe. So, what is your issue?
Oh, our issue is that.
Oh, this one, yes. To get money out of politics.
So it's not that people are against it, they're just not as into it.
Right, so I mean, you'd have to find a way, and obviously be very different from ours because it's a different issue, but we immediately saw that we had to get the heck out of Santa Fe, of not only being Santa Fe. So we started creating programs that would help our more rural communities. So we do the Student Pledge Against Gun Violence, we do murals against gun violence. We just finished a huge gun violence prevention mural in Espanola. We do Guns to Gardens, where we do a citizens gun buyback, we raise the money, we cut the guns in half. We do that at the Sheriff's Department. The sheriffs usually come against our bills, but this way they get to know us. So whenever we do any kind of work, we always try to see how we can involve law enforcement, mayors, city council members. So we try to find a kind of this multi-pronged approach that brings everybody in the same room talking about it. And suddenly you do the Student Pledge Against Gun Violence, suddenly you have your mayors, your police officers, and 150 students all in the same room talking about gun violence prevention. And it's kind of a aha moment. Hey, we can have a discussion and we're not, going Second Amendment this, Second Amendment that. But I don't know how you would do that with money in politics. You just have to find those ways of, of going in there.
Stop voting for the people that are not using the public.
Right. Find out who the lobbyists are that are in those areas and how much money they're pumping, you know what I mean? That might be one way.
So sort of corollary to that, obviously the kind of strategy you're talking about does take money. Do you have any advice for fundraising?
Oddly enough, our programs don't cost, the gun buybacks cost the most. We're really frugal. We're like ridiculously frugal. The Student Pledge, we can do it at school for $150. But we're all volunteers, so that is a luxury that we can do that, and I'm not going to lie. But we haven't done the fundraising we should, but I think we do apply for grants. So because we're working a lot with kids, we can get grant money. So we get grant money, and then people I think they get so fed up with the mass shootings that they knock on wood, they donate to us. Paula, you have an idea?
You might mention salsa, because if we do an email blast, and we have over 3,000 members in the state, if we do a plea, and it's very rare, with an email blast for a donation, they donate to salsa and we get the money.
What's salsa?
Well, salsa, we States United Against Gun Violence pays for that for us.
But the cash isn't coming directly to us. There is an organization that can take the cash, right, and then give it to us. Well, we get it two different ways.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
can
through
look
an
at Lush-
email blast, just begging for money.
Yeah, we do that every 3 months, and so far it's worked. But also, Lush Cosmetics might give you guys money. They're this amazing, we just got a grant from them, and they love this kind of thing.
What is
So,
it?
Lush Cosmetics.
Lush?
It's a British brand.
They're fantastic. They just made us their charity pot, but look into their grant, it's easy to write, and
Yeah.
they actually like this kind of
And
a
they
thing, like
do
getting
that
money
for
out of politics. So that might be a way to go, and you can get up to $24,000.
So what experience have you had with ALEC?
None, so
None?
far, no. I mean, we do with NRA, so,
You haven't run into them?
no. It's usually just the NRA that, just the gun lobby that.
You guys have a social media person? You guys have Facebook sites and Twitter accounts and all that?
That helps.
Yeah.
That helps for fundraising too.
So I was gonna say, I think it's on Saturday at Foreman Concept Gallery, there's gonna be an auction of guns turned into sculpture, which I think maybe it came from your program.
Yeah, they did, yes.
Yeah,
And they're, that's right, that's at, 4 to 7 at Foreman Concept, and it's amazing that, when we did the gun buybacks, we had all these guns, so we were raw tools of making gardening tools, and then we still had more, so we gave them to the Santa Fe Community College students, and they've made fantastic artwork. And then Foreman Concept then made it a national or international. So now all these people started bringing paintings, and I saw the exhibit, it's amazing. If you have time to go at 7 o'clock on 4 to 7 on this Friday, and we get a percentage of those proceeds.
Where is it?
It's at Foreman Concept, it's across the street from Tomasita's. It's a big gallery, Sandy Zane owns it. But yeah, they've been wonderful to us, so we'll see.
So it sounds like your organization, they have a core mission, but you've also added other things around it to branch out a little bit
Yeah,
and draw
well-
attention to the core?
We were in this, because it's gun violence prevention, it's so divisive. It's either, don't you take my guns, or get your guns out of this country. I mean, it's just like this, right? And so the only way we could come together was if we started creating programs where we have a lot of gun owners that are members, but we had to find a way to at least start a conversation. And the moment it changed was actually at the Milwaukee School Board. They wanted us to present. We present a lot to school boards on this year gun violence. And we walked in, and what's his name? I love him, Dr. Morgan. He said, "Oh, we're so thankful that you're here. We can't wait to hear your presentation." We literally turned around. We assumed he was talking to somebody else because we had never been treated that way. And it was just like, wow. And there's nobody home. We were like, wow, this is the game changer. But then the NRA representative was there and stood up and said, we don't know why you're listening to this group. These guys are anti-gun, blah, 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 blah. And Dr. Morgan said, thank you very much. Now we'll listen to the presentation. And that moment, we started to see that in these more rural communities that we were making a change. When we did the gun violence prevention mural last month, a lot of those kids were hunters. They were going hunting. We had to stop one weekend so that they could hunt. So you see, we're beginning to find a way that gun owners and non-gun owners alike can really come to the table and have a conversation and move forward.
But I guess I'm confused. Is your main focus on domestic violence and getting the guns away from that?
No, our main focus is,
okay.
yeah, so we attempted to close the gun show loophole. We got the name, we did pass a bill, I don't remember the name, to get the names of those suffering from mental illness into the NICS system. We will, the domestic violence bill, we will continue in 2019. We will get it passed, and then we'll look at what we can pass next. But it's a step-by-step process. But yeah, we're not just about domestic violence.
Okay, yeah.
We attempted a child access prevention bill to keep guns out of the hands of children. It was filibustered in committee.
Are you full-time?
Paul is starting to go to Mexico.
You're a full-time volunteer?
Yeah, we are, many of us. Like, we put in a ridiculous amount of hours.
How many full-time volunteers?
What do you guys think? We have about 10 people who put in a lot of hours. And then we have other people that will go, if we say we have an event, can you put in a few hours? So we have a lot of, people that, do the hard work, the heavy lifting. Or everybody mucks the stalls. There's no, I only want to, write editorials now. Everybody needs to stuff envelopes and do all the work.
So you've mentioned mental illness a lot as, kind of a big concern, right? So are you folks networking or doing outreach with mental health issue type nonprofits?
Yeah, so we're looking right now this next year, we want to start 2 new programs. One is we're really looking at suicide and suicide prevention, actually 3 new, I didn't tell you guys this. Well, we really want to look at suicide, that's the majority of our deaths, and also teenage suicide. So last year, 85 children were shot and killed in New Mexico, which is way too high for this population. 40% of those were suicide. So one thing we want to do is start really educating parents to lock up their guns. In fact, I'm about to go to Las Cruces to meet with them on getting parents to lock up guns, especially somebody suicidal. We're also working with the firstborn programs in the state to make sure when the new parents get their diaper bag and they get their free, stuff, there's a gun lock and gun safety information. We just got money from a foundation that will put part of it towards that. Third, what we also want to do is start reaching out to gun shops and ask them if they will hold guns for people who are suicidal, because they don't want to give them to the police because they think it's a legal registration. So it could be like a code check. So we're working on that. And then third, when somebody sadly does commit suicide, that gun is brought back to the parent or the family or the loved one. And so what we want to do is see if we can work with the police, because it's their personal property, they have to get it. If they could sign that gun over to us, and we'll cut it in half and see if we can turn it into either a gardening tool or art. We have Jeremy Thomas, who's a fantastic artist in Santa Fe, has said he's willing to start on his own volunteer time, turning those into something else. But that brings awareness around suicide. So they're small. I think suicide will be our next bill. After we pass the domestic violence bill, I think that when I look at impact and what we can accomplish, we might be able to accomplish something here.
Sure. And how did you approach those other organizations? Like, how did that work for you?
Which other organizations?
Well, that you're working with on suicide, for example.
Oh, we just reached out to them, emailed, called, just did cold calls and reached out. We did a mental health table in Albuquerque, and we met a lot of folks, and then we also just kept in touch with them, and we just, nonprofits all want to work together, so that's easy.
So what is the stats of the suicides by gun or hanging?
Hanging's a problem on the reservation, but in terms of, let's see if I get these numbers. Last year in New Mexico, 401 people were shot and killed. 243 of those were suicide. So when we look at it, that's
and
when we
suicides in general, what is the number of suicides in this?
Well, that would be, what I can tell you, and I don't have this exact number, is that last year of those 71% of all suicides were with a gun. So you'd have to do the math if there were 243 and 70, but it gives you an idea that more than 70 higher, and that's higher. The national average is 60% being a gun. And that is because we have a lot of poverty and a lot of veterans.
Right.
Well, thank you guys. I hope that was helpful.